Today we're on the road here in San Antonio, Texas, checking in with the guys from Operation Comfort, finding out what makes their '84 Bronco so special. We're here at this ranch in San Antonio, Texas to check out what happens to be a very special garage, and I think you'll see it's one that packs a rather emotional punch for all of us. It's the home of Operation Comfort's Auto Motivation program. You see, Operation Comfort's a nonprofit organization set up here in San Antonio to help our returning soldiers from both the Afghanistan and Iraqi war. In town, these guys are getting treatment from Brooke Army Medical Center for their very serious injuries. Well, out here at Operation Comfort, these guys are getting treatment in a different sort for some of their emotional scars.
When I first came here, I had no idea what I wanted to do or what I was going to do. You know, all I knew is my career with the Marine Corps was ending, and I didn't plan for that to happen.
After I got hurt, probably about like 90% of the guys, you know, you dwell on stuff you shouldn't. So, I mean, it gave me a gateway to focus on something else.
So how did you come up with Operation Comfort? How did this all start?
Well, I was a flight attendant for American Airlines, and I was flying the guys in and out of Kuwait, and I didn't realize it then, but they changed my life.
The next trip Janice made was to Brooke Army Medical Center to help with the wounded soldiers. After hearing Aaron Coates' story, she knew something had to be done.
He was driving a fuel truck, and 3 rockets hit it. He started to jump out of the vehicle, and that's when he realized he was on fire, and his hands had melted into the steering wheel and into the gear shift knob. So his hands were very badly burned. So when I visited him at BAMC, I realized was into cars. I mean, his email address was crankshaft7, and they had him painting on glass, and he wanted to be working on cars again, and he said, I just hope my hands are going to be well enough so I can go home and work on my car with my dad. You know, it's a dad-son project. And he said, I wouldn't want to disappoint my dad.
Wow.
So anyway, I thought, golly, we've got to do something. Have a program for the guys who want to work on cars.
The idea of Operation Comfort and its auto motivation program was born. The next obstacle was to find a garage to house the program.
And I met the owner of the Lonesome Dove, and he invited us out to look at his garage. And he is a Vietnam veteran, and so he understands, you know, what we're trying to do.
So when the soldiers come into Operation Comfort, what are you hoping that they get out of it?
I hope that they find a space to be able to come to and enjoy the camaraderie of other men that enjoy working on cars and everything. I hope that they may find that they have learned a trade, or they have decided that they wanted to go to college, and to just be able to get something, whatever it is, whatever they need, they can find a little bit of it right here.
Actually, I was one of the wounded service members. I had a IED go off underneath my fuel tanker that I was driving in Iraq. Wound up getting sent to Brooke Army Medical Center because I had suffered some first, second, and third degree burns to my face and hands. Lost my right leg below the knee. Just one day I was trying to watch my Colts game. This crazy-haired lady came walking in my room, and it was Janice Rosnowski, the founder of Operation Comfort. Ever since then, I've kind of been around.
It's just an awesome program, and I wasn't able to be a soldier myself, and I'm glad to be here helping, and being there for these guys is something I think that is well worth my time.
I don't think we think about our freedoms very much. We take them for granted. But the more you interact with the Army, the Navy, the Marines, the sailors, the Coast Guards, you know, whoever, they have chosen a pathway, a destiny for themselves of taking care of us.
When we come back, we'll meet some of the soldiers of Operation Comfort and show you their Bronco Weapons Carrier project.
Us being able to give back, help fellow soldiers any way possible, that's the ultimate goal right there.
So we're inside one of the 4 working bays here, the Automotivation program, and it looks like I found the right bay because this, I believe, is the Bronco. Am I right, Chris?
Yes, it is.
Tell me what we got going on here.
This is actually our first project that we had going. It's an 84 Bronco chassis. We didn't know quite what we wanted to do with it. Happened to have a old Army weapons carrier body out back. And the owner of the ranch actually sat there and he said, well, why don't you guys slap that bad boy on there?
That's a perfect fit for, for the whole program, everything you guys are after, you know?
It's an old beat up body, just like, well, most of the guys that come out anymore.
But you're bringing it back to life, though. That's what I like about it. Underneath the hood here, man, well, what's going to be the hood, it looks like this thing's going to have a little power to turn these big tires, and I think it's going to need it.
Really, it's a 351 Windsor that's been bored out to a 392. AER Manufacturing was kind enough to donate the engine to us, and just through all the different donations that we were actually able to get, and CarQuest, we've been able to get this to the point it's at. With the help of them and also guys like Matt here, it's coming a long way.
The automotive industry is quite awesome because they understand what we're doing and why we're doing it. And so they've given us lifts, they've given us pipe benders, engine washers, parts washers.
Even if a guy comes out here and he didn't know how to change his oil, and we can teach him how to change his oil, that's one thing that he was able to take from this. That's one little piece of knowledge that he didn't have before that we were able to show him.
There's one thing I picked up in the very short time I've been here is that Matt is not a guy you're going to be able to sit down and chat with. If you want to catch up with him, you got to catch him working because the guy never stops. Matt, tell me a little bit about how you got started in this whole program.
Well, I was put in with occupational therapy when I got to the Brooke Army Medical Center, and they asked me to go ahead and pick a job. So I came out here and took a look around and seen this and love at first sight. I saw this and it was something unique, and that's what I'm all about, is making unique vehicles, unique, pretty much anything. So I jumped on board with the project, picked it up, and just kind of ran with it.
You know, this is a big undertaking, taking this on. What is the biggest challenge you've come into with this specific project?
The biggest challenge was finding where everybody had left off, all the loose bolts, everything that hadn't been locked down from any previous owner, just tightening them up, getting things on track so I could move forward.
Now, so when you came into this project, it was already a work in progress at that point.
Exactly. The body was already mounted, the bumper was on it, and the motor was pretty much just sitting there with nothing done to it. I went ahead and put together everything you see here as far as for the front runner system, the intake, took care of as much as I could to get it ready so it was able to run and perform.
What's your goal for this project specifically?
My specific goal for this project is to return it to SEMA complete, because the chassis was there 2 years ago. A lot of people put money and time into this vehicle from sponsors or whatever else, and I want them to see a finished product to show that Automotivation can finish a project to show for everything, for soldiers, for everybody.
So how has Operation Comfort affected you? What do you take away from this program?
Well, it's given me a way out of the barracks. It's given me something so I don't have to sit around, and it's given me the opportunity to help my fellow soldiers, the ones that are more hurt, the ones that can't do everything that I can do, and to teach them and to try to work with them.
When we come back, we'll meet more of the men of Operation Comfort and their Automotivation program and find out how some of them are taking the lessons learned and turning them into a trade.
When I first came here, I had no idea what I wanted to do or what I was going to do. You know, all I knew is my career with the Marine Corps was ending, you know, and I didn't plan for that to happen.
Jared's plan of being a lifelong active Marine changed when a roadside explosion flipped his truck into a nearby river, clinically drowning him. While laying in a hospital bed, Jared saw a flyer that led him in a new direction on life.
When I first came down here, I started working, I was wrenching on cars just like everyone else, and one day we didn't have anything to do, we were waiting on parts, and I just wandered over to the body shop and I saw what those guys were doing, and it just clicked with me. I'm one of those people. I like to see an end result. You know, you can work on an engine all day and it might run fast, but it still looks the same. And so that's what I really liked about the paint and body is you can take a rusted piece of garbage and at the end it's, you know, it can look totally different, night and day difference. And so it just really works good with my personality where you can see an end result, and I really like it.
You know, we spoke a little bit yesterday and you said that you kind of picked up a skill here that you think you might be able to take with you. And is painting something that you see that can actually be a career path for you?
Yeah, I really would. Like I said, I first came down here just to kill time, and then I found a passion. I found something that I think I could enjoy to do for the rest of my life. And so yeah, I would love to continue to paint cars, and that's actually the path that I'm going, and my goal is to continue to paint cars.
Besides your passion for painting, what is something that you're going to take away from Operation Comfort? What's one thing you'll take away from this whole program?
I'd probably say number one is the camaraderie. You know, that's one thing that you really have in the military, and that's what's great about it. It's still here because you're with these military guys, even though, you know, like I just recently barely just got out a couple weeks ago, but I'm still around guys who were injured, and they have the same mind and same thoughts, just like me. And then number two is a skill trade. You know, the guys who work here full time, who are here to teach us these jobs and skill trades, you know, that's going to be with me for the rest of my life.
I think automotivation can go where the soldiers are, and it's nationwide. You know, I mean, like honestly, not this shop itself, but they could have set up different areas where soldiers take it with them. And I think that's where spinning soldiers into a career out of this is something that can be done.
New soldiers are getting on board with the automotivation program every day. Vicente Ramirez just joined and was surprised with what he found.
Wow, it's a lot more than I expected. They actually have little different stations on what they can do here, and you know, work on body, paint, actual working on the engine and stuff like that. It's just, they have so much here to offer.
What are your expectations coming into this program?
Right now, I'm just looking for something to do. Hopefully learn more about cars, you know, actually, you know, work on my truck and stuff like that, you know, little things, and something to do really, just something productive.
So Janice, one thing you're hoping that come out of all of this is that other people will kind of take your lead and do the same thing in their own communities.
Yeah, someone asked us, where are you going to be 5 years from now? It's like, hopefully we're out of business, the war will be over. But as my husband said, no, it won't. It'll never be over for you because you'll have all these wounded still here.
I've got a feeling it'll be 10 times the size of this knowing you, just from the little bit of time I've spent with you.
But you know, we're such a small organization. We're happy to be small. We're here in San Antonio. If they could take this program as an example and take the lead, have a program for their wounded. I hope that they don't ever forget our wounded and the prices that they've paid and the price that their families have paid, and recognizing that freedom isn't free, someone's paid for it.
Now that we've met the people of Operation Comfort, we'll watch them go to work on the Bronco Weapons Carrier and see if we can blow some smoke. Hey, welcome back to TruckU. As you can see, the work continues on our 84 Bronco Weapons Carrier. Now, the objective of the day was to go ahead and get this thing ready so we could actually flip the switch and start it up. Not there yet, but these guys are hard at it. You see Matt's program, the ECU right now, trying to get this thing tied up. In the meantime, I want to take you guys to the back and show you a little bit of progress we've got done back here. Now you can see we've got the bed back on the back of the vehicle, so you can see what this thing's gonna kind of look like. Now it's just set up on blocks so we can start staging stuff. But Rob, tell me, what's the whole vision for the back half of this thing?
Well, see, the back half is going to be similar to the front. We're going to build us a real big, heavy bumper right here, and then we're also going to fab some supports to have this bed laid out flat right here. Right now there's no wood, there's no floor in here. We got some real raw metal fabrication we're going to have to do, and we're going to install wood floor in here. And this thing should come along pretty nice, but they're still in a fabbing sense right now. You know, this right here was built by Matthew, and he did a real good bang-up job on this, and we're going to start on this bumper next. That's what's going to happen back here.
Hey Rob, you can't help but notice that this has got a military colored primer on it. I mean, you guys kind of tying all the loose ends here.
Yeah, that's it's really funny because a lot of people thought that this was the final color, and it happened to be just the edge primer that we used. And I got really lucky. It kind of hit it on the head, you know, and
totally.
everybody thought, wow, it's going to be green. And I'm like, well, yeah, it might end up being green, but that's just edge primer. So
that'll be the reveal at the end.
Yeah, we'll be able to see the final product hopefully pretty soon. Before it's finished though, everything will be the same exact green.
Cool. All right, talking about getting finished, we need to run up front with Matt, and hopefully he's at a point now where we can flip the switch. Come on, man. All right, Matt, so it looks like you're getting pretty close here. You know, I can see you still check for some fuel leaks, notice one in the back, but it's starting to come together.
Yeah, we're in a mad dash right now trying to get everything together, get this wiring harness set up so we can see if this thing will make some smoke for us. We're just doing the final things, getting power into the engine wiring harness, and once that's complete, we can get power to the ECU and load the ECU, and we should be able to start it from there.
Well, you know, unfortunately, no matter how hard we worked, it seems we're still having some problems with the ECU communicating with it, and it seems like we've got a bad relay over there. And that kind of stuff happens in these projects, you know what I mean? This is for real, you know? So, you know, it's nothing to be depressed about. These guys worked hard on this project, and they're going to continue on. I guarantee this thing will fire up soon. It's just going to take a little more time than we have today. Now, one thing, though, I do want to do with these guys, and I've been hearing about it all week long, is something they fired off all the time that works every time. Matt, come on, show me a little toy.
All righty.
All right, so tell me a little bit about this thing. Now, this is some engineering here at its finest, I can see. Now, with some military guys, what would you expect other than they play with guns, right? Well, this is one they made here in their own a little shop. Gary, do the honors.
Come on, baby work.
There you go.
Now, that is just awesome. Wow, that is firepower. That's fine. Give me some love on that one. That's great.
That is probably the best shot I've seen come out of that thing.
For more information on anything you've seen on today's show, check out speedtv.com or visit our website at truckutv.com.
So what's in your bed? Odds are pretty good at work, at home, or at play. The bed of your truck is taking some serious use and abuse like this one is. The name of the game is you want to be able to protect that. And we're going to do that today with the ultimate in truck bed protection. This is DupliColor's bed armor. You look down here on the label and you know it's tough because it's made with Kevlar. Now, if you're going to do a project like this by yourself, you want a couple of different things. You want it to be tough, you want it to be durable, and you want it to be easy to use. Now, one of the first things that you're going to notice when you look at this is the fact that you open up the can, no harsh chemicals, no weird smell. That's great because some of the other kits, you know, it can be a little bit overwhelming. You know, another great thing about this system is the fact that it is UV protected, so it's not going to fade on you. Now the kit comes with everything that you need. And you take a look, you get your scuff pad, your brush, your rolling kit, the product in the can, and you know what's really nice right there is these full color instructions. They're nice and easy to follow along. Now you take a look at the first couple, it's all about getting the bed of the truck clean, which we already did. Then we could come in and tape everything off. We had a little ridge right here, which is kind of nice. We're going to keep that, and that's what we're going to work with. Now, we're ready once it's all taped off to go ahead and scuff the entire bed of the truck. And it's very important to get it scuffed because you're going to knock down the gloss is basically what you're doing, and you're making a nice surface for the bed armor to adhere to. But in the meantime, if you want to see more detailed installation instructions or find out where you can get bed armor, go ahead and check out DupliColor's website. You know, we talk about the battery tenders all the time and how it's a great way to keep an individual battery charged and maintained. But what if you're a guy that owns a motorcycle dealership, or you've got a fleet of vehicles, or you just have a bunch of toys? Well, this is what you need.
Yeah, it's like the Mac Daddy of all battery tenders. What it is 10 individual banks into one system. It's not just one big charger where you plug in 10 different things to it. Each one is monitored individually, so once it charges up to 100%, it'll go down to maintenance effect and level all off, keep all those batteries maintained as well.
And just like all of the battery tender products, it's spark proof, it has reverse polarity protection, it's pretty much foolproof, which is what we love about it. It's the industrial 10-bank battery tender from Deltran. This is the original Tough Truck bag, and what it is, it's an alternative to the tonneau covers. I mean, you could spend a couple $100 or as much as you wanted to on a tonneau cover, but this bag will actually keep all the stuff in the back of your truck protected from the elements. This is very cool.
Two things about this. It's 100% waterproof and it's huge. It can hold all your gear inside of it, where you're hunting or fishing or you're just going down the road on a road trip. You know that this stuff, whatever's inside of it's going to stay safe and away from the elements. Big. It's 40 wide by 50 long by about 2 feet deep, so you can put all your gear inside of it.
Yeah, you mentioned you can cram everything in there. You've got a lot of room, and there's also pockets on the sides. The guys have thought of everything. So for little things like gloves or ammo, something you need to get to quick, you can put that in the little pockets right there on the side. So the Tough Truck bag also comes with these little bungee cords right here too. There's 8 rings. There's 4 on the top level and 4 on the bottom, and you can hook these into your truck bed, and you can use any size truck bed, so it doesn't matter. The Tough Truck bag is going to get the job done, and it's going to keep all the stuff in the back of your truck safe from the elements. If you're working on a Chevy truck, which we know a lot of you guys are, this is where you need to look. It's the classic parts catalogs for Chevy trucks from Classic Parts of America.
Now, these catalogs are broken down for years from 1947 going all the way up to the new one, which takes you from 1988 to 98. Now, there's 6 catalogs for all of them. They're free, and you know what? They're great because the inside, all the pictures are color. They've got obscure parts like little screws to your common things like radios and dashes and everything else you need. And this company's been around for 26 years. When you get the product, it's going to fit your application.
And they're located conveniently in the Midwest, so if you need that part and you need it quick, they can generally get it to you in about 1 to 3 days. It's the Classic Parts catalogs for Chevy trucks from Classic Parts of America. I think it's awesome you got to go out to San Antonio and check that out. There's some really cool things going on out there for those guys.
Yeah, that whole program they got set up in San Antonio was terrific. Janice and all the guys at Operation Comfort, thank you for having me out. You know, I learned something that day. You know, you don't want to take for granted anything we've got here. You know, I mean, if it wasn't for them sticking their neck out on the front lines, we wouldn't be able to play with trucks, man.
You're right.
Thank you for having me out. And I'm going to tell you something, Matt. When they get that truck up and running, which I know they will, you and I need to go out there together and check it out.
That's something I'm looking forward to, no doubt. That's going to wrap it up for us this week. So we'll see you guys next week, and hopefully we'll see them in San Antonio before too long. Who knows?
Yeah, I got to show you that spud gun. I think we need to make it here, dude. I mean, that thing shot like 100 yards. It was awesome.